What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So, a common question that I get in my DMs is what market do I invest in? This is like the number one limiting point for a lot of people trying to invest in real estate. And my answer is very simple, and oftentimes your answer is always very simple. Where do you have an unfair advantage in? That's it. Where do you have an unfair advantage in? I live in California, so obviously I have an unfair advantage in California. However, California is very expensive, right? Your average single family home in the Bay Area is $1.5 million dollars. In LA, it's probably around $1.2 million dollars. And that's just for a single family home. If you want to buy like a small apartment complex, you're talking like, $4 to $5 million. And as a result, while I live here and that's my unfair advantage, it's just not feasible for me right now. So where do I also have an unfair advantage? I have an unfair advantage in Oklahoma because I have a very strong property manager there. So that's what you ask yourself. Where do you have friends? Where do you have family? Where do you have a strong property manager? Right? I know a lot of people are saying, I live in California currently, but I used to live in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. I say, great. Your unfair advantage is Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where you have a team. That's where you know the area. That's where you might have boots in the ground. So that's where you can invest, right? You can buy a nice apartment complex for around $1 million there, much cheaper than California. So a lot of people get so dived up into the metrics, and I get it, right? Like if you join my course, I think there's four metrics that I emphasize. So obviously the first one is low crime, right? No matter how much money you put into a property, if it's in a bad area of high crime, that will not fix the area. It'll fix the property, but you can't fix the area. The next one is you want population growth, right? If people are leaving, the state or the city, that's going to decrease your renter demand, which decreases your rents, supply and demand. Number two is there job growth, right? Like, are there jobs coming to that market? Like, a lot of jobs are leaving California and going to Texas, but despite that, there's still a lot of jobs in California, holistically. And then I think number four is, you want basically I kind of prefer under the sun belt, right? So is it in a more warmer climate? Because I don't want to deal with snow and bursted pipes. I mean, I don't have experience with that, coming from California. So I don't want to deal with that in my real estate portfolio. So that's why I don't invest in areas where it snows. So just make it very simple. Where do you have unfair advantage? Is there population growth? Is there job growth? Is there renter demand? And is it in a warm climate? Right? So those are the questions I'm asking myself, and people overcomplicate this question, and this stops them from doing real estate for so long. And I'm like, you should not let this be your limiting step whatsoever. And that's kind of the nice part about, if you join my weekly Q&As, if you're interested, just drop your email down below, or you can send me your email and I'll send you the invite. It's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And what's nice is a lot of people, they come on. I usually teach a topic and do a general Q&A after. And a lot of the questions that people give me is their limiting belief or the step they're stuck at. So when I answer that question, I answer it, but I also try to break that belief, right? Like a lot of people get so focused on the little things like, oh, I'm going to prepare all my letters for the next 12 months. And my question will be, did you send your first batch of letters yet? If the answer is no, then why are you worrying about the second month, third month, 12th month of letters? Just focus on sending that first letter first, that first batch of letters first, right? People overcomplicate everything. And hopefully my job is to simplify it and help you just do your next step that needs to be done. And then once you've done that step, worry about the next step after that, right? Some people get, and I myself included, I get so focused on like 10 steps ahead when you just need to take the first step first. And a lot of times, I'll be honest, when you're focusing on 10 steps ahead, you end up doing nothing. You end up doing nothing because you're thinking way too ahead. So just make it into bite-sized things that you need to do and accomplish and do it. And if you need help with it, join my Q&A session, join my course, join my mentorship, get involved in my community and ask questions, and I will tell you exactly what you need to do next. Simplify it. It's not as hard as you think, right? The answer is usually in plain sight, but you just need someone else who's not attached emotionally from it to tell you what it is. Even myself, like sometimes I'll bounce ideas off my girlfriend. She owns one single family home. I own 90 units, and I'm taking her advice because she can see it from a distant perspective and is not emotionally involved. And sometimes the answer is obvious. Like what I learned from her is just focus on apartments and sell your mobile home park, right? So that's what I'm planning on doing. Yeah, I'd rather be great at apartments versus good at apartments and mobile home parks. So because of my mobile home park, it's distracting me from my apartments, and I've been neglecting my apartments. So what's the solution? You sell the mobile home park, get your money back, make a profit, stabilize your apartments in Oklahoma, and then buy more apartments in Oklahoma, right? So I'm going to go from 90 units to 50 units if I sell, but sometimes you got to take one step back to jump 3 steps forward. So if I sell my mobile home park, I cash out, refine my apartment complexes. The next apartment I can probably buy is an 80-unit apartment complex, right? So that's how you play the game. That's definitely how you play the game. So it's just breaking things down into small bite-sized steps. You need help with that. Like I said, surround yourself with people, get involved, send me your email. I want to give value to people. I want to add value to people as much as I can. And I love answering questions. I don't prepare for any video, any sessions whatsoever. I just love being asked questions and being engaged with my students and my audience. So, once again, don't let the question of what market to invest in be your limiting step. Just think, where do I have unfair advantage? And I can easily figure out what your unfair advantage is, right? I can easily figure out what your unfair advantage is through a couple questions, and I will tell you, right? So it's just what is that limiting belief holding you back, and how do I jump forward? Like for me, people ask me why Oklahoma. I chose very fast because I had a good property manager there. That's it. I get it. Oklahoma is not a very appealing market to most people. Most people like investing in Texas, which is very sexy, very appealing. But because I had a good property manager in Oklahoma, that's why I chose it. Plain and simple. And it's more of a cash flow market. And right now I need cash flow, right? To help me leave my day job. But maybe once I made enough money and equity out in Oklahoma, I can go back and invest in California where I have an unfair advantage at because I live here, right? I can drive to my property, check up on it, put more eyes on my property to make sure my property manager is doing their job, right? Or I can live in if I own an apartment complex in California, I can live in my own apartment complex, which I would love to do. So just figure out what your unfair advantage is. If you need help doing that, hop onto my weekly group coaching sessions. If you want a private one, I offer private one-on-one coaching at a price, right? You can do that as well. And believe me, it's going to be so simple and it's going to feel stupid when we go on the coaching calls, but that's the whole point, is to get your limiting belief broken. And I'm still getting mine broken on a daily basis. So overall, hopefully you found this video valuable and kind of helps you decide which market to pick on. It shouldn't be that hard. Let's be honest here. And hopefully it gets you to take the next step. That is my goal. Please share this video if someone else is kind of stuck in the same situation. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.